Good day, lords and ladies. Welcome back to WilderMyth, Omenroad, and we are getting close to the objective. We have a couple of places we could go through. We could smash through the centre of these hard challenges, Mafagi and Fraxels, which not really that wanting to do. Deepest would be nasty, but an upgrade and some equipment. Or it's a combat muff again. It's a combat muff and more resources going into the final blacksmithing level. Might be worth it, to be honest. This is just only going to be something a low level, and then it's a weapon upgrade. Battle buff. Fraxels are nasty though. But so are the deepists. Let's go Fraxels. Okay. All foes take damage, all heroes stun chance increased by 2. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of them. We guess I had to kill everybody. Okay. You'll get extra HP, so I want to kill you with the weakest character we have, which is you. So probably Bone Lance. That isn't going to kill you. None of these. Shackle maybe. Okay, so you're pinned. Okay. And that was the wrong one to kill. Okay, that's annoying. I really don't want to kill these two because obviously we won't get the equal XP points. But I also don't want to take a ton of damage from these guys either. Ooh, there's a lot. Okay. You dodged. Spawning cysts is never a good thing with these guys. We get up here. We do this. Take you out of the running. Let's see. One moment, folks. Sorry about that. Okay, so infuse this maybe. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Yeah, them infusing stuff is a pain. Okay. Okay, take those things off the field. Okay. And take that down. Okay, so she's max level. Yeah, it's not worth it. I mean, the armor loss alone is not worth it. Okay. Advanced Infusion. Tinkerer. No, let's just get armor up. Okay, what do we not want them to have? All these are bad. That is just horrific. Okay. Right onto here for the resources. Okay. And there's a lot of them. And we have to push aggressively. Okay. Straight off the bat, take out the big guy. Splinter Blast is probably the way we want to go. Yeah. Okay. Right, take the father figure out of the picture. Okay. We've got to go for the resources. Yeah, that's not great. Okay. Big guy coming up. And that thing is dead. Okay. Bone Lance you straight off the pack. Take her out of the equation. Get the resources we need. And then get back here, because that thing can really hoof it if it wants to. It's got high armor as well. Okay. There we go. Yeah, removing the Minotaur. Yeah. Okay. Quark. A snarl of ribbon crevasse and blade hills, where the gusts have grown hot and smell like scorched spices. Melisse's nostrils give birth to rivers, reacting to the company she thinks much more than to the atmosphere. I could make a pike to break the wyvern's chains of this old sky. As he seemed certain predicting, they have knocked into him again. Never flares travelling Forge Master Muren. Weigh your hands down well and proffer 'em if ye want such a thing. Muren smelter glare, Muren the smith most. Muren the earth traitorous orc. And wants the sky to fall, presuming you can manage all you say. No one does, eh? He laughs. Well then, what you're needest for, of course, we must do. Me and my hammer and my fire, unfree. Just don't go expecting no charity. He laughs. Okay. So the resources we have... Going into the next fight for what is it that he needs? Mostly it's probably resources. Yeah, get up to the next level of that. Can't go higher in the armor department. I mean, I'm happy with all that she has, to be honest. He's got fairly nice robes. I mean, what could we get higher on? Warding, nothing really. I mean, his staff is as high as it's going to get. The bow is high as it's going to get. Dagger could be improved. He's not really using it for anything, though. I mean, get his hand axe up all the way. Find craft a shield. Yeah, like we could go with something like that or mythical level equipment. What is stone? No, just like hand axe then. Like no one else needs anything. Like all their primary stuff is already maxed here. And I have always been a massive fan of the water axe in this game. Just the extra action points for two-handed weapon fighting is just so powerful. I mean, we're all tooled up. Our gear is as high as we're going to get it. The only thing we could switch over to would be basically... would be like different armor. But it comes at the expense of... well, it comes at the expense of defense, basically. Better clothing, different clothing has less armor. I mean, we've already buffed everything. I really don't know. I mean, her armor isn't great. Spell damage. Spell damage is 1, and it would go up to... no, I'm happy. I'd rather have like... I always value in this game, I value defense over offensive. Because it's nice having like a plus... like potency and plus spell damage and stuff is. Your characters just get wrecked, but I suppose we're going into the final fight as well. No, I'm happy with how we are. They leave the wagon side wilding wonders. Only one man can easily have walked. No more bitting broad cart. I don't think so. I am always astounded to see your craft. Huh. You never wanted better than that bow. It has served me well, Moren. I thank you. Jumps down. Yeah. And he starts to pull. You're behaving oddly, you know. Oh? Always pretty weird. There are no other offers you'll make me? He laughs. This nose sense turn to the stink of opportunity, and you know I don't smell that on you right now, Elithia. But then there are ways. He begins to pull. Opportunities there a way of coming around again, he laughs. If you falter for the final gaze of coloured if you falter for the final gaze of colours washed off this iron old world, there I'll be to barter with that wanton little heart of yours. He trudges off. Good news? I'm intruding. Inserting myself into your story once again. Sorry. You must not mind. That's lucky. Anyway, great. I'm glad that's resolved. Strange. How the... By the way, what's an orc? What is it? The orc was a dumb little bastard of an animal. A low terror of the early ages, a beast bent on badness and stinkery. Adar took it in his arms and combined it with its clay-hearted twin. And so we were given the gentle ox to be our workmate. I see. Yes, so the ox is really two orcs. One a placid, companionable creature, the other a chaosy and ill-turned, stubborn buns. I never did think much of whether that story was actually true, and you were never meant to. Okay. Oh, so we can still go back there if we want. Once again, like, the only thing I would maybe do would be a different bow, but it's just so nice to have up to 3 enemies hit as well. Let's see. If push comes to shove, yeah, I will just throw force into the wind. Here we go. I begin to wonder, dear thing, dear free Velen. Let us imagine something. Imagine you accomplish all you intend, your ambitions are realized. You watch triumphant as the glittering pelt sinks around those dragonly bones. The vast spirit fuel furlies reduced to one tiny Oplean egg. What happens then? Do you know what else might collapse in the dragon's final throes? The absence there left, will Orway fill it? Will she take up all the yolks and yarns that spill slack on the saddle dragon's quaking floor? There is a sound. If she does not, or if she is unhappy to, or if she is but gradually bends down for those burdens, how many mountains and myths will topple without a foundation? Might you give a number? There's creaking once more. A vague estimation, even. You are far from guessing or considering, I suppose. There is a cosmic price. Should the never for when shake or shatter, creation may buckle, and it is not impossible you will die, or even somehow that annihilation may come. It is no small chance. But that would be better than aborting my quest. Annihilation would be. Yes, because I will not fight to crown her. Then, if I do not fight to crown her, then I do not deserve to love her. And that would be a terrifying agony, I suppose, resigning yourself to thinking that. You are young to your feelings, I have said, and I mean that I am owed to mine. But I was a girl for all my life's great decisions, and in that fact, there is only one way I can explain them without wincing. I know that girl, a child, a boy, thinks death is better than disappointment. But a woman, if she has patience, learns. We learn. Because death, I think, you have not really imagined it. Fever dear. Call it something grim grave as annihilation. I see why it might seem distant, incomprehensible, but death is easy to understand. Love, you may not yet realize. It begins and it ends, even a mother's love, a father's love, even a god's. However much comfort you may find in the scent of her feathers, whatever she is is your sky or your ground, her love is not everything. Your life is. It is everything. Fie villain. It is all possibility, and death replaces that with nothing. So when you talk about always love, a love, it is life to me. It is the entirety of the ambition which has become me. A metamorphosis. An error. Doesn't it seem like an error to you? You're a fractal originally. Even guided change can have unintended, ungood results, and may still be undone. There is creaking. It may be undone, perhaps, and yet, would you happily return to how you were, Orifel, a girl again? Would you blithely revert to the unshattered self, see who was you before the labour of all your cracking and growing? I would not. What is it like to want, to be, and to dread? I think you cannot grasp it, because it has never escaped you. I would not go back, Orifel. From all and knowing the taste of nothing, to nothing and knowing the taste of all. Ah, well. I suppose it is fun to imagine something small. I suppose it is fun to imagine something so small and corn-like as love could threaten the hills of creation. Truly a common vegetable, sprouting in unlikely soil, has brought summer to the winter mind, the fracture mind, and with it the winds of ruin. It soars perilous across crossing worlds. It gives you power. It gives you power and dooms you to seek power at power's ends. Next step, our toes may touch the castle stones. I will not longer be your guide then. The country here feels hardened, lights and colours dense, saddles blacker and more wiry. They all can sense journey's end. It is like an eye open to them. I like that thing. The Strahd, unmeaty under all its armour. Does well to remind you that home's not coming over the hill. Sometimes I forget we're some world else. Tells me any place I could get used to. Yeah. Then you remember this is all so we could go to a party that sounded fun, and you realise we weren't very clear-headed people to begin with. The never before ball. Your hand wrote an invitation, Elifar. It's a pretty wondrous thing, isn't it? If you think how far we've travelled and that it worked on us, it summoned us here. I don't know what all it would mean, for better or worse. I did hope the road would be easier than this. Without recalling all the details, Dirk, I have this sense that you pulled me in. You laid words out for me like traps, the omen, the road, the old unsettledness, concepts that captivate me. I am sure to have spoken of them often. Maybe. I don't think I fooled you, though. Isn't it more like you let me convince you? You had some reason of your own for this journey, right? I get what you're doing, honestly, kind of playing it off, as you were just being a good elder to me. I honestly respect the attempt. I guess I do know it to be true. Maybe, I'm tired smoothing away my own dissatisfaction, but it was insignificant. Indeed. They exchange looks. The Black Hall is beautiful. That is where the ball will be. Beautiful, and the Citadel will be beautiful. Gilil fricks to an unforgettable grin, a grandiosity that is subtle, somehow sneaks in while you are nodding comfortably and quietly unmoors your imagination. You only notice later that a dragon has been here. But none of those sensations now seems enough. Not beautiful enough, not breathtaking enough, not answering to the mighty guests I bring. I know after all that it was not fully for the dance you passed for Pale. I also know that Gryphax has prepared nothing besides, so it is awkward. Awkward? You all have endured a lot to come here, and I was hoping you would not be disappointed. Won't be. we won't be. Or well, that's basically two things I want to see. First is probably another wall. That one is easy enough. And then I want to see Kalim of Sable Lake dance around with a punch bow. More difficult, but I shall make it a point to try. In my case, it is a dragon we are speaking of, an ancient being alive since the first flames, when Hadar Rohan wept for Karnad, and when Ka's 5 wonderful vessels broke and her children were born a wing. So I can say earnestly and without pause, my heart's wildest wishes are, to this point, well exceeded. But if I am to meet a dragon, do not worry, that will not be enough. Yeah. Gilfric's 5th dragon, Shadow Dragon. Gilfric's to whom we owe everything. You never return to the world you're from. I would have exhausted possibilities. I would never have learned to be so detached or helpful if I were a scribe of fate like yours for like reasons. And I find that, for all your exhibited ability, you're rather unfrightening to me now. All the colour-fudding universe continues to be, pulses of heat for a grand flame eddy on their faces. This was a pretty good group. They all exchange looks. We take journeys, we don't know how many there will be, but I'll tell you, this one, with this group, was amongst my favourites. The Season's Pile. The air-clambering, glow-bladed creeper. Hey Melisi, would a plant like this survive if you took it back? Where would you let it grow? I would be hesitant to let it grow anywhere. Even a plant can be a conqueror. No telling how it might interact in our gardens, our bugs, beasts, birds, our soil. Dirk, See it with me. She turns. A herald wind strikes the dust from their sleeves. And as the castle at last comes to meet them, the death of our adventure. Distant sounds of living speckle the stillness. A palace for the playful. I remember Captain Onya saying something like that. The Queen's palace was lavish, its walls sought, quaint and pretty, the armories dusty and bare. In my youth, the only battles I was expected to win were fought for words and pranks. This one looks much grander, of course, but I am reminded of Calm Court. An artist must have made this. Jaws around an artist's throat. Something this size never has one maker. How did it ever get built? How did it? It never exactly did. Or I mean, the building is eternally incomplete. Ongoing, it is added to, subtracted from. As often as ideas come, green ideas on grey ideas, whims heaped on whims. Choices folded into other choices. It is an analogy. The fantasy of innumerable brains, dead and living, through, as you might think, Greyfrix is the chief imaginer and decider, a monarch. Any warnings, Elithar? Safe to assume there's regulations, ordinances of a kind, with civil setting, a city, I'm saying, of such a size, and yeah, I don't want to cross lines accidentally. Accidentally is kind of a scary distinction to make. Warnings? Yes. Yes, there are dire warnings. Dire, and I knew I would have to save them, and yet I found myself delaying over and over again, choosing to delay. I was given good cause to delay, I think, but still, I am sorry. There is no more delaying I can do. Since we are here and we are friends, I will not sigh any longer from telling you everything. Elithar makes her accounting then, finishing the story of where she went when the expedition was young. She speaks about the nature of the ball, and they will go for the first time with true idea of what to expect. Oh boy. As much as I want to go and see what the next bit is, I think we might leave that for the next episode. Probably be a long episode because it will be us finishing up the end of the game. But I have liked this. I have liked this DLC. I wish the developers had made more DLC, because this is the joy of WilderMyth for me. This narration, this story that you play. But I can understand why they felt the game was complete and they didn't want to add any more to it. I have been Cornish-knight. This has been WilderMyth Omenroad, and I shall see you all again next time. Goodbye, folks.